Can you just say it?
Yeah, hi, welcome to Las Primas podcast. I'm Gabby.
I'm Fatima.
And we're primas.
I'm trying not to show my choni.
Next time, wear pants.
This might be the
There's
last
no
time
rules.
you see us filming in this area because we might, still debatable, have a new filming location.
I love Rosario's house, though.
Okay, fine, we won't. But if we need a backup location, we might have a new location because someone had a recent big life event.
Well, to be fair, Rosario is moving. Not moving. Rosario is going to Mexico next month, which means...
Can you tell us first what happened?
Yeah, I moved.
Gabby moved. Yay! She moved to...
So I moved into a little
Where were you living
apartment
before?
here in California.
Yep.
Just kidding. So basically, when I first moved from Arizona, I moved into a house with a roommate, and then that roommate moved out, and due to COVID, which was like 2 years later, I think, or a year and a half later, COVID hit. So then it was just me and the owner of the house, which is my little viejita. And so I had been living there for 5 years, and I just recently moved in November. So she was actually raising my rent. So then I was like, I'm out.
You're like, you're raising my rent. I'm out. I'm going to go to a place that's double expensive.
Double expensive, exactly.
Double expensive.
Exactly. She actually was like, oh, I'll lower your rent. I'll keep it the same as long as you don't move out because you're like a really good renter.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're like my daughter. No, I'm not. She's like, no, it's okay. Like, thank you.
So why did you move then?
Because I could. I think, honestly, before I just couldn't move because it's not affordable to live in your own place.
It is not cheap to live in California
Yeah.
by yourself with I would say we're middle class salary, high middle class.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what class we're in, but yeah.
For LA, Long Beach, Anaheim,
Okay.
low end middle class is 55, high end middle class is 165.
So I am not middle class.
So we're still middle class, but we're just not on the high end. We're not on
gotcha.
the low end. We're on the average.
Yeah, well, beside the point. The point is that it's very freaking expensive compared to Arizona, where we're from, where you can literally, my mom's mortgage is probably $700, $800, where I was paying $950 for a bedroom, basically what it was, and I would have to share my bathroom once a new roommate came in. So then she was raising the rent once again, and I was just kind of over it. I was already over the living situation.
I think for you, you're over the living situation and not being able. And I think you're moving in a different direction in your life, and you kind of needed that space to yourself.
Yeah. And I was really scared to put in my 30 days because I obviously didn't have anywhere else to live set. And then I was traveling to Mexico for 2 weeks in October, or like a week and a half. So I was basically, I couldn't search for something for 2 weeks. And yeah, I moved out. I'm fully moved in now. My room is a hot mess, but I have my kitchen and my living room all sorted.
So it's a 1-bedroom ADU unit now?
Yeah. So and it's an attachment dwelling unit is what they're called. And it's a pretty decent size. Like, I gave my friend a tour. She lives in apartments here in Fullerton as well. And she was like, I think your apartment is bigger than mine. And I think it is too. Also, the good thing about mine that I really liked was that the bathroom is not inside of the bedroom. That was like something I didn't want because I don't want people going through my bedroom to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that was like a big thing. It's a really cute color. It's like really cute. I really like it.
Good. I went to her apartment before we went to Arizona a couple weekends ago.
Which is like the second day that I had
moved in?
Stayed
Second
there,
day?
yeah.
Okay. She told me I couldn't stay there.
And I told you this weekend you couldn't stay there either.
Yeah. So every weekend that I'm here, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have a slumber party. And she's like, no, you can't come over. I'm like, it's okay.
I didn't want to anyways.
But
the reason is because it's just messy right now. As soon as I get it all like done, like
it's
my
always
bedroom.
going to be her excuse.
No, it's
You've
not.
been there over a month now.
Yeah, but I barely got my like furniture all set and stuff.
Excuses. All I'm hearing is excuses.
Whatever.
But yeah, so we were debating if we should continue filming here or if we should film at Gabby's new place. But I like the setup.
I like
we
the
have a lot of
setup
space here.
And Rosario's gonna be like, get the fuck out. Gabby has a place. Get out.
So now I was gonna ask. Now that Rosario's leaving to Mexico, last time she went to Mexico, you house sitted here.
Yeah.
Do you think you would do the same thing?
Well, actually, she left twice, but I only house sat once.
Do you think you would do the same now?
House sit for her?
No, like stay when you actually stayed here and lived here, while she was in Mexico.
No.
Sorry, Rosario.
Unless she wants me to, I definitely could. But I think the reason I did it last time was because I wanted that space of like being on my
You're
own.
so nearby too.
Huh?
Right? You're so nearby, Rosario's. You're like
Yeah.
10 minutes away?
Yeah, I'm really close.
Less than 10 minutes? Yeah.
Like I could technically sleep here and then go home. It's just I was living a lot like not a lot further, but it would take me like 20 minutes to get to my house. So it was like I can't be going home every single morning to get ready. So I brought a bunch of stuff here when I stayed here. And then I really liked it. It was like my own private little space. I can cook if I wanted to.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, but I don't know how to cook, so I wouldn't. But I could.
You're like, but I have the ability
But I have the option.
If someone wants to come cook for me, I have that option.
I have a full kitchen now. Yeah, so it's really cool. I really like it. But like I said, it's extremely expensive.
It's very expensive in California. Why there's so many people here, I have no clue, because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what I paid, I lived alone in Tucson for a bit. What I would pay for a luxury 1-bedroom apartment with like an apartment complex with a gym, with a nice gym, 2 pools, one of those like game rooms or something. What I paid for that is cheaper what I pay for a 1-bedroom, renting 1-bedroom with roommates here. And it's just like freaking crazy,
I
you
know,
know?
it's ridiculous.
Rent in LA, I have since I moved out here, I've lived in 3 places. I'm on my 3rd right now. And
you're a hopper, girl. I've been here for 5 years and I just moved out to my new place.
I am a hopper, and I think
but that's okay.
I think that if I am not comfortable,
yeah,
I don't want to stay in an environment that I'm not comfortable in. And the fact that I like being alone. And I have lived alone and I'm used to that. So moving out here and having to live with roommates was just different.
Yeah.
It was just, so I haven't really been comfortable at this place that I'm at right now. I think it's living situation. It's the one that I'm the most comfortable in.
Good.
And it's so cheap. It's ridiculously cheap.
Well, for me, I had never really lived on my own because when I was in Arizona, I lived at the ranch.
With roommates?
Which is roommates, yeah. So it's all like college people. So it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath apartment, but it's like you rent a room, same thing. And then the living space and the kitchen were shared. Yeah. And I never had an issue. I think one of my roommates didn't really like us. They all played softball. Well, 2 of them played softball, and then me and Bailey, I don't know what Bailey did. Anyways, but we weren't in sports, but they knew a bunch of people. But for whatever reason, I feel like towards the end of when we were about to leave, she just did not like us. But I don't know why. She would be like upset with us, or like friends would come over and she would like post things on Twitter being like, oh my God, like some people just don't know how to respect their roommates. Like they always bring people late at night. Like I'm trying to go to school tomorrow morning or things like that, where you do have to think about your roommates, right? When you're living with them. You have to
be considerate, but you also, as a roommate, have to be considerate that
everyone has their own life.
They're not gonna do everything around what you need, right? So there's some stuff you can be considerate about, but like inviting people over, like you can't be like, no, don't invite any friends over. Like that's a little mean. That's a little weird, right? I did have one situation where in my last spot, it was like 1 a.m. I was dead asleep. I think it was a Friday night. Still, regardless, I go to bed early and I wake up early. It was 1 a.m. and my roommates were singers, both of them, and one of them came with her boyfriend that night, and they're on the bottom floor and they have a piano on the hallway of the 2nd floor. And they just started playing the piano loudly and singing loudly, and I was like,
what the
loud, not even just like we're here singing, humming or whatever. No, they were like singing. I took a video because I was like, so I was upset. I was like, it's 1 a.m, so stuff like that is inconsiderate, right? If you're having friends over at 10 o'clock at night, it's just keep the noise level reasonable. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Like sometimes people are not considerate, and that was my whole situation in my previous place where I lived with the viejita. And she wasn't considerate at all. Like, I was asleep in my room and she would pound on my door until I opened it because she needed help with her iPad. And I'm like, girl, I pay full ass rent here. Like, give me my fucking privacy. Or I would park my car in the driveway because she would ask me to. So I would park my car in the driveway instead in front of the house, like the street parking. And then she would like wake me up early in the morning and she's like, you need to move your car by 6. And I'm like, then why the fuck are you telling me to park it in the driveway? Like, if you're going to be bothering me, like, it's just like that stuff. I think I got so fed up with it where I was like, I'm so fucking over it. Like, I just want to live by myself. Like, I just want to have my own space and just be by myself. And I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, you moving out kind of was like, damn, I kind of want to live by myself too, but
it's expensive.
It's so expensive. For LA, like a 1-bedroom is $1,800 plus, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be spending money, I'm going to spend it in an apartment complex. So in an apartment complex,
you have
amenities, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm going to already be spending a lot on rent, I might as well do it for the amenities as well.
Yeah.
And that's like $2,000 minimum.
Yeah. So, which is that's what I pay. I pay $1,800, and then I have no amenities. Obviously, every place out here is that much. That's like the cheapest you'll find.
Yeah.
I actually started watching this podcast. It's called Made It Out. I watched this girl. She was like telling her story, or whatever, and I really liked her. So I followed her on Instagram. They're not by any means like influencers or anything like that. She's just a regular girl, and I started following her. She just recently moved into her own place in LA, and she's so excited about it.
You know where in LA?
No, I don't know.
Show me your Instagram later.
I just saw that she put on her Ring app that the first notification I got was like someone's out with a knife or something. I was like, oh shit.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, how do you feel now that you're alone? Do you get more scared?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think I've always been, ever since that situation happened in Arizona where they broke in and I was in the house, I've always been like.
Have you ever talked about that on the podcast?
No.
Do you want to?
I mean, I could. So when I was living at the other place, every time I would hear a noise downstairs, or even though I knew we were
in a viejita?
Yeah, even though I knew that we were in a gated area, we have a Ring camera, we have all these cameras outside, I still was like, I would hear a noise and I never think like, oh my God, it's a ghost. I'm always like, someone's breaking in. And I think it's because when I was 11 and Jasmine was 12, we stayed home alone. Our parents were out of the country. Well, technically we're really close to the border, but
they had driven to Mexico for paperwork
stuff. And my eldest sister was in some training. My younger brother was sleeping over with my other uncle, and it was me and Jasmine. I was 11. Jasmine was probably 12 at the time, and we stayed home alone watching Casos de la Vida Real, doing our little toenails, and we're just hanging out. It was in the morning. And then we get this random knock on the door. So we go check like chismosas in the little window, side window, because we couldn't reach the peephole. I was like, Jasmine, who is it? Because we're whispering, right? They can't hear us. And she goes, oh, it's someone wearing jeans. And I was like, oh, it's my tío Elpidio. Just open the door for him. And she's like, no, he doesn't wear jeans all the way to his knees. And I was like,
he was sagging.
Okay, yeah. So he was sagging. And he was very persistent and knocking, and he wouldn't go away. So I muted the TV and I kind of went back to the like living room area, and I was just standing there, and then all of a sudden Jasmine just turns around to me and she goes, hide. So I ran to my mom's bathroom. I called your mom. Sarai picked up, and going back to basically like, I don't exactly know what I told her, but I was just like, Sarai, can I talk to your mom? And she's like, yeah, for what? And I was like, I need to talk to your mom. And she's like, yeah, but tell me why you need to talk to her. So I started crying. And I thought I told her someone's breaking into the house. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But anyways.
Maybe you did. We don't know. I remember it differently, but it's okay.
Yeah. So then I started crying.
Just dumb. I'm just kidding.
No. I started crying. You're dumb.
We're all done.
I know. I started crying. I was like, please let me talk to your mom. So she started running to her mom. I think she's like, Mami, es una emergencia. Because I remember she said a comment because of how I was reacting. She hands over the phone to her mom, and then my tia Lupe's like, Gabby's, what's going on? I was like, yeah, there's someone at the door and they keep knocking. She's like, that's okay, just don't open the door. No, the reason that I called her was because she lived a street away from us. We lived in the same neighborhood, and she was just a street down.
Over, yeah.
And she's like, no pasa nada, Gaby. Like, nomás no le abran la puerta. And then Jasmine runs up next to me, and she's like, they're in the house. So we ran into the bathroom. I told my tia, I was like, ya se metieron. And I hung up on her.
The bathroom it's a little room.
Right.
It's, you go into your mom's room, and then you go into the bathroom with the sink and the tub, and then you go into another little room with door locked.
So there's two separate doors. Yeah. Like Fatima said, the first door.
The toilet.
Yeah, the first door was where I was at, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror where the sink is at. And then when Jasmine popped up, she came right behind me. We both ran into the toilet room. Yeah. So we closed the door, locked that door like it was gonna do anything, and turned off the lights. And I was like holding the phone, and I was shaking so much. I was so scared. And then the phone fucking rings. And the phone rings, and I like answer it immediately. And I was like, hello? And it was Fatima. Why did my mom go running to your house barefoot? And I was like, Fatima, I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
And I just hung up the phone and I put it back, and John's like, don't answer it anymore. They're in the room. And I was like, okay. So we're like whispering, but I felt like we were so loud. I'm putting the phone so close to my body that I accidentally clicked the volume button and it started ringing again. I was fucking so annoying. And I was so scared because the men in the room, there was like a man in the room. He was like, where's the phone ringing? And we're like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is where we die.
They're going to find us.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, we just heard silence. So we just heard silence. So we're like, okay, they're not in the room anymore, because we were in my mom's room. So I was like, they're not in the room. Should I open the door? And John's like, no, no, of course not. Like, hello.
You're like, just open the door. Let my tia
technically, they would have broken in if we would have opened the door.
No, they would have just like knocked you guys out and done some other stuff.
And then I heard it yelling, and then we were trying to like hear it before opening the door, and then we kept hearing yelling. So then I was like, I think that's my tia Lupe. So we slightly opened the door, and then your mom was like, Jasmine, Gabriela, like calling us. So I was like, it's my tia Lupe. And then John's like, don't go out there yet. And I was like, it's my tia Lupe. And she's like, don't go out there. So we didn't know what was happening, right? And we went out, and it was my tia Lupe barefoot. And she's like, ¿Dónde están? I was like, I don't know. We're hiding, tia. Yeah. She's like, se salieron por atrás. And then she ran back outside, and she got into her car. She left after that. Your mom is so savage. You weren't there.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So then John's like, call the cops. So I called the cops, and I was like crying to the cops.
So how did they break in?
So basically we had a huge maceta outside of the door.
Which is what?
I don't know.
Vase, a giant vase, a plant vase.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Maceta is vase.
Okay. I don't know. Anyways, so we had a big maceta, and we had a palm tree, a really big one. So obviously they couldn't have carried it by themselves. So the cops said that it must have been two people who threw it at the door. So basically we didn't have a spring door before. It was just the wooden door.
Not a spring door, the metal gate door before you open the door.
Oh yeah, is that not called spring?
Spring is
okay. Anyways, beside the point. So we just had the wooden door, and so apparently they picked it up, they threw it at the door, so the door broke in half, and the frame broke with it. So that's how they were able to get in. And after investigations, because the cops came, took fingerprints, they didn't steal anything. They did not steal anything. All they did was take out all my mom's drawers, and like they were looking for something. My laptop was outside, but they didn't take anything at all. And then after my sister came back home from her training at Target or whatever, she was pissed. She was like, why the fuck is my window open? Why is my door unlocked? So that's when we realized that they also broke in through her window. We just didn't realize it.
Diana's room was the one that you used to live that you moved into. Okay.
It was my room.
That was the one facing the street, and they broke into the window to her room.
Yes, so they opened the window through her door, through her room, and then just unlocked.
Both?
They did break in through her room. Why
did they do both?
To get into the house? I don't know. I think one was over there doing something, and then the other two,
because so it was more.
What?
More than two people?
Oh, yeah, it was more than two people. And then your mom said that when she pulled up, there was a blue truck parked in reverse really close to our garage, so she couldn't see the license plate. And she said there was a guy inside of the truck as well. So it was like the guy or whatever. So I think when she pulled up and ran inside, he alerted the guys inside, and then they ran out through the backyard. And because we're so close to the street, they just hopped over one fence, and then they hopped over the next one, and they were at the street already. So yeah, that was it. The cops basically told us that they just hit the wrong house.
Do you think they did?
I mean, if they didn't take anything.
Did your mom have a bunch of money? I heard you guys told me that your mom had just gone to the bank, because I think you guys were doing a trip to Mexico, and your mom had just gone to the bank.
No.
And she might have had a lot of cash on her, and that's why they were suspecting that maybe they saw her, and then they... No, just that they hit the wrong house, that they suspected it, that it should have been two houses more down, because that's where, I don't know if you remember. Neighbors.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. And
so now you're scared and you're traumatized to yourself. Because when I'm by myself, I literally had a friend over the other day, and they were like, your roommates are home? And I'm like, no, I'm home alone. And they're like, doesn't that scare you to be home alone? And I was like, no, like I've lived alone for a long time. I was like, no, like I love being alone, right? Yeah. So, and for me, I'm the opposite. When I hear something, I'm not like oh, it's a person. I'm just like, it's a ghost. I'm like, oh my God, it's a ghost.
Yeah, we're all
like,
just
yeah.
You're like, I'm just gonna close my eyes and not open them. And I'm always like waiting for someone to break in through the door. Like even in my old place, like I always had the door closed to sleep. Now I don't because I live by myself, right? But I always had the door closed, and I would just like, when I would hear noise, I would just literally wait, and I'm like, okay, so if they're eventually gonna come to my room, is how I would always say. But then nothing would happen. So yeah.
So what are you gonna do now?
Your mom's my hero.
Your ADU is like right in front of the house.
Yeah. The thing is, I also feel safe because they have Ring cameras. I actually want to get a Ring camera.
Okay, what if someone with the mask pulls up?
I mean, I want a Ring camera so I can have more visual of like what's going on, and if something suspicious is going on, I can call the cops. I actually was the other night. I was a little freaked out, and I was like, "How many times do I have to click my lock button for it to go to emergencies?" 5? I've done it once when I was drunk and I accidentally called the cops.
I've done it too, accidentally.
Yeah, but then I was like, maybe I should really like think about how many times I have to do it so I can do it. Because there's no way I'm going to fucking dial 911, unlock my phone, click 911.
Well, you just do like the emergency call.
Yeah, but you could just swipe up. Oh yeah, you're right. And then click emergency.
But what happened? I want to know what happened the other day.
Oh no, nothing. I was just watching some crime show and then I got scared.
Gabby watches crime shows, and that's why she's like, she's always thinking about this because I don't watch that crime podcast, crime shows or anything.
Yeah, I do.
And I don't think about like being in danger at all. And you do. You're always like, oh my God.
I
was
always
watching
think
a show. Literally, she walked in and she was like, I was listening to a podcast about a girl getting murdered or whatever. She's like, and then I realized it's here in Orange County.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think about that. And I met a lot of not a lot of people, but like I met some people that are very like, oh, LA is so shady. Like you gotta be so careful. Like everything is so bad in LA. And I'm like walking the streets at night. Like,
you're like, I'm chilling.
Not minding my business.
And that's why women like you go missing. I'm just kidding.
And then I did go on a date the other day, and I was like, yeah, sometimes I'm a little worried. Like if I do come home like really late, I won't park because I park on the street right now. I won't park too far. I will risk it getting a ticket and park in the red, so I don't have to walk far. And that's why I have so many tickets.
Yeah.
And the next day they bought me a taser. Pepper spray, not taser, a pepper spray.
Your date, right?
Yeah, my date.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, I kind of want something that I could protect myself with, but then I'm also very scared of like accidental things, which will cause for me to go to jail. I don't know. I'm so weird about that. Like DUIs, I would never drink and drive because I'm just so deathly scared of DUIs. Exactly. Not just of the DUI itself. It's more so if I put someone else's life in danger. When I'm driving like road trips, I would prefer myself being the driver just because, again, I don't want to, like, I do whatever I can in my position to like make sure everyone else is safe. And
yeah, and then I was also thinking, I was like, when he gave me the pepper spray, and I was like, how does it work? You know, like we were looking at it, he's like, yeah, you have to like twist this, and you turn this, and then you just hold it, and you spray, and I was like, too complicated.
Yeah, like I need something quick, bitch.
Like, I was like, if I'm in a dire situation, especially because I'm blind, I'm not gonna be like over here trying to read the instructions of like where to twist and like what to press.
Maybe you should practice it.
I don't want to touch it. I'm afraid of spraying that thing too. And he just sprayed it on the air, and I was like, this is pepper spray. I was like, back up, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what I noticed? So I went over to a guy's place late at night, and I woke up in the morning and I realized there was a gun on the nightstand right next to me, and I was like, what the? And I didn't know this guy like had a gun, right, or whatever. I was like, oh, that's weird. God. Anyways, but I left. And then I was just remembering a couple of weeks before I had hung out with another guy. And we were like watching Netflix on the bed or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I like, this is my set. I was like, because I have my gun in this handstand. And I was like, bro, like, what's up with everybody having guns? But like they're from LA. Yeah. And I feel like people that are from LA know the bad stuff.
The thing is, for me, is like, are you really gonna pull out a gun and like shoot someone?
They apparently think so.
That's my thing. Like, okay, if I had a gun, for example, because I live by myself, or like, am I really gonna pull out a gun and like accidentally shoot someone?
These guys live in apartment complexes. You have to. Well, one of them was just a key, right? You can walk up and break into the door, and then But the other one was like you have to find the way in there. You have to fob at the elevator. Then you have to find the apartment. Then you have to like key into the apartment. Like, is it really gonna happen? Is someone really going to break into your apartment right now?
And then what if like someone's trying to surprise you in the middle of the night or something, and then you just fucking shoot them, and it's your family member or something? That's always my thought too.
It's
scary.
It is a deal having a gun. You have to be properly trained and
girl, you don't know what happens.
You never know how you're gonna react when something.
Yeah, I'd rather not have that.
You never know how you're gonna react in an emergency situation until you're actually in that emergency situation. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in any kind of
I don't think so either.
Emergency situation.
I just ran and hid in the bathroom. That was my emergency situation.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a situation.
But like now moving forward as I'm older, like I don't know what I would do or how I would react.
I think I freeze.
Yeah?
It's fight or flight, and then there's a new one called freeze. I think I'm a freeze. So we're all going to pray for Gabby in her new place.
Thank you.
I'll go get some. I know because you don't go to church, but I'll go to church.
I go to church.
I'll go to church and I'll get some holy water.
Bitch, I go to church more than
At
you.
the Christian church, do they give holy water?
Yeah.
Oh. I'll get some holy water. I'll take a Catholic priest over, and then we can bendecide your. Actually, once.
My shit's not haunted.
No, you don't do it just for spirits. You do it for good blessings.
I did have a really bad dream, and I saw a little girl. That really freaked me out.
I don't want to talk about that. Do you see dead people in your sleep or something?
I don't sleep dead people. When I was at Rosario's house, I did see an old man, and I knew in my heart that he died here.
That some guy died here because you saw an old man in your dream.
I didn't see him in my dream. Anyways, I have really bad sleep paralysis. Yeah.
That's another episode. How our paranormal. Maybe we can have our guest speaker, our producer, come and talk about her time using the Ouija board.
Oh my God, you're so right. And how she's always been haunted after that.
Yeah. Never used it ever again.
Oh my God, that's so true. Every time I see videos on YouTube like talking about that shit, I'm always like, no thanks. I'd rather watch.
That's why I don't watch scary movies and anything.
Because I don't want that shit coming to me.
I believe in that, and I don't want to do anything with it. So I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch any of that. But because our family has experienced some type. That's why for me, it's like I hear something in my room, it's a ghost.
And your sisters see dead people. I'm just kidding, but I feel like they have a sixth sense. Both of them. I feel like Tits and Sarai.
Well, the difference is Sarai's actually scared. Tits is like...
She doesn't give a shit.
She's just like...
I love it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we can have them tell us their stories so we can talk about it on the
maybe
podcast.
We'll fly them down from South Korea.
No, we're not going to fly them down in South Korea.
But anyways, that's it for today.
Yeah.
It's my little experience.
Again, Gabby, just new life experience for Gabby moving into her own apartment.
You guys are welcome to come visit me. I have a futon.
We're going to have a giant slumber party. And
I told Rosario that we can have Christmas at my house this year, and nobody can sit down because then we won't fit. But if everyone stands up, we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So. Yes, and we're all wearing pajamas.
Love it. And so so we're gonna do good blessings.
You're a snake.
Oh my God! I'll tell you that conversation we had with her and Angie yesterday.
They're freaking right, and I thought I had it planned. Anyways,
but yeah, good blessings to Gabby, and pray for both of us so we can increase our salaries and I can afford an actual nice, safe place to live.
So hopefully we can buy a house here. Maybe I'll start playing the lottery. Oh, what the hell are you doing?
Or like we can start a business. Something more
it's easier
realistic.
To play the lottery. Well, realistically, I don't play the lottery.
Thank you for watching. Comment down below if you've ever had any crazy break-in story like Gabby has. Any like terrifying, you're in danger.
Just scary thing. Has anybody had a situation where they had to either fight or flight?
That's why. Have you ever been in a danger, adrenaline situation and you had to? And what did he do? Fight, or freeze? Fight, or freeze. I can't talk.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of F's. Hello? F's. I mean.
Anyways, we're done. We're tired.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Cool.
Cute.